to know more now.
Hey, this is just an interview with
Joe
Hayes and Paddy Kiely on the 14th of the 12th, 2015. Okay, I'll leave the two of them there. Sorry, what were you going to say, Paddy? I interrupted there.
Yeah, no, sorry. No, I'd love to know more of the butchers. More names I'd like to know.
You've loads though, Joe. You know loads of names.
You see, Paddy was on the road.
The transport individual, really.
Yeah. I'll show you the list in case you want to off the
Paddy will go in the morning and get his van loaded and he'd be out, be gone.
Okay.
Because I was around the factory all day.
Yeah,
you were, yeah. I know the girls now in the factory, you know. I just come back now, like, and you'd meet them on the road, and I'd know to see them, but I wouldn't know their name.
Yeah.
Because I was in the morning at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, you were early.
I was gone out at before 8, and they'd be only coming into work. And it could be 6 when I get back, and they were gone home.
So where did you work, Paddy?
In Matterson's, but transport individually. That's what I said. I'm not a butcher or anything.
No, but that's fine.
Selling.
That's fine, yeah.
They made the stuff, and I sold
and you sold it.
No.
So when did you start? What age were you when you started?
Oh God, about 61. Mary, no,
61,
she give it the exact age. I was 29 years in Matterson's.
Okay.
29.
29 years.
Yeah, a lifetime really. And the whole lot of it was fantastic. All the different lads, different times, obliging lads, and if you were stuck to do something or whatever, they were there. With a transport manager, Johnny Carey. He was our manager. You probably know Johnny as well, Joe. He was our manager.
Is he still alive, Joe?
In Matterson's, no.
Is he alive or?
Oh no, Joe, sorry, I could tell you on that. No, poor Johnny is dead.
Okay.
But one of the nicest, if I wanted to do, these are things maybe I shouldn't be saying, because if you were moving house tonight, nobody get a loan of a van.
Yeah.
Johnny, my cousin's moving house tonight, a van or a truck. Oh, Paddy, I have a load for a road to stores. Deliver that load first and go in and shift your furniture.
Yeah.
There was no hygiene.
In the van.
Oh, you wouldn't do it now.
No, you wouldn't. You'd be killed.
If you were caught now with a box of matches in the van because it wasn't meat, you were suspended or sacked. Because there was no fridges in the van, so it was either just the ordinary vans, no fridges.
And how did you keep the meat fresh then? Or?
Don't ask me. Just the vans, no fridges.
Preservatives.
No.
But even in the shops, like.
The stuff went in. Paddy's van be loaded in the morning. You come back, you'd have the stuff sold. It's up to the shops and look after that,
But even some of the shops, like, you remember Dan O'Connor's now?
Yeah.
No fridge there. And outside the main counter would say, and then the back of the counter, like the shops at the moment.
Yeah.
And a slab of marble. And you brought in your tray. That says the sausages weren't wrapped either, like they were just loose.
Right.
Oh my God.
So you got your tray, it's silver tray, and with 40 pound of sausage in each tray, and you just went in, turned it upside down, top of the marble.
Yeah.
And then when you came in for your half pound of sausage, and you just cut them off with a knife, and
they were all handling that time.
All handling, yeah. But no hygiene, nothing, no fridges.
So no one was poisoned.
No, especially the women now, they're turning the sausage upside down now to look at the dates, and everything has to be checked and double checked and the whole lot. And no, there was no one sick. Not that I know of anyone.
If they about it.
Different times, like I suppose.
Yeah.
And you would probably know then there wasn't the same amount of things in the sausages.
You were saying that. A few people were saying that. It's different now.
It's all different now, really, the whole lot,
That's mad.
But it's amazing. You had sausages, you had hams. I knew, don't write all this down now. I knew if I had greyhounds.
Greyhounds?
Greyhounds.
In the van?
And it's up in the canal there somewhere, there used to be a greyhound track.
That's right, dials.
Just for coaching the hounds or whatever.
Trials. Did have the trials up there.
I was often up in the van with him, and there'd be hams and sausages in the front of the van, and there'd be 3 or 4 greyhounds in the back of the van. I'm going back now. 40 odd years ago. But no hygiene, like, no shirts. Like I said, we were told one time at a meeting that we were caught with a box of matches was the word that was used. We could be sacked. Nothing in the van, only what Matterson's made in the meat and the whole lot. But he brought it down to a box of matches. But we could be sacked, and all that. So all different times. some good stories and different things.
Tell her about Margot.
About who?
Paddy Dyson. But who? Before I tell him, who was Paddy? Was a fine rugby player. Who did he play?
Richmond's.
Richmond's, was it?
Yeah, Richmond's.
He was such a fantastic rugby player. But
his brother played with him as well.
Terrible, quiet man, and a lovely man.
Yeah.
But he was going to Galway. We used to go over now from here. In the end, I didn't move over to Limerick. Limerick was my area in the end. Like. But I was in Galway then as well. But he was on the Galway road. He doesn't drive at all. He was a helper. Paddy Dyson, lovely man.
He wrote loads of history articles, didn't he?
Sorry?
No, that's a different
fella. Okay, different fella. Sorry.
Different, is it?
Yeah.
But they were going up to Galway himself, and Papa McCormick was his name. Eddie McCormick, but Papa was his name. All nicknames, you see that time. Papa. They were going up to Galway, and up Gart. They go into Garton for, they work their way up like Guinness, and they go into Garton for their lunch, supposed to be. But the lunch, of course, was a pint and a sandwich. That would have been the lunch, like whatever, no lunch. Maybe a mile out the road, and after leaving Gart, they get a breakdown, a puncture or whatever. They broke down anyway, out the road. And Papa then says to Mogwai, Paddy Dyson, Paddy, you better get a lift back to Gart and phone. Of course, no mobile phones at then.
Yeah.
So it's hard to remember. A mobile phone was never saying, you better get a lift back to Gart and ring the mechanic, Larry Kennedy, here in Limerick. He was the mechanic. Then he lived on the road, Larry. And I tell him where we are. We're a mile outside Gart. We have a puncture. We have no spare wheel or whatever.
Oh my God.
So Paddy anyway said, oh Jesus, no way, I'm not going to go back and phone. He said, so you have to go back, Paddy, and phone for God's sake, we have to get some. Oh no, he said, because Stanley Lacey was the boss.
Yeah.
If Stanley Lacey answered the phone, he said he must smell the drink off of me. That is, it's a joke, but it's a gospel truth.
That happened.
Innocent people, like, he didn't want to go back to make a phone call because in case the boss would pick up the phone and send the Lacey. Just send him and he might smell the drink off of me. It was unreal, like the different stories you'd hear the whole way.
That's a very good one.
Yeah, it was first.
Very good.
He's dead and gone, and a lovely, and a fine rugby player, I believe.
Yeah,
Stan was a rugby player.
No, Paddy Lacey.
Paddy, okay.
Stan Lacey was oh God, I could go on, but lovely people forever.
Yeah.
And it was Stan Lacey played hockey for Ireland. They were. Can I use the word? No, maybe I shouldn't. Protestants or whatever.
No, that's no problem.
They were a different colour. Like, see that time, all the bosses, like in Madison's, they were all. I hate using the word.
They were all Protestants. They looked after their own.
They looked after their own. They did. If you were a Protestant, you got a good job. If I wasn't, they had to fight.
But Paddy was saying that as well. He said that most of the office jobs were Protestant.
They were,
people working out Catholic.
They were correct, But
there was a Protestant company and they looked after them.
And that was it. But a gentleman now. He was a manager outside Madison's. Yeah. And when I'd come back in the evening, not every evening now, his office was upstairs. He'd be down the stairs, well, Paddy, how'd you get on today, Always interested. We had managers after that, and they'd have to salute you. The difference is what I'm trying to say to you. Difference of people, like.
Was he like the boss?
Oh, he was the boss.
And then how many were underneath him?
Understand the Lacey that time?
Yeah.
Oh God, there was.
There was a good few.
John Shannon was the boss in the cannery. Gordon Taylor was under John Shannon, and it was there. Dougie Leach was there. There was a load of
Jimmy Cantlin in the Sash House, wasn't there?
This was Jimmy Cantlin. Yeah. Jimmy was the same way, like we had a murder one that was put. I think I told you that.
Tell Road.
I know, but they're not really stories, but there's the ladies, it was all ladies in the Sash House.
Yeah.
And the rapping sashes, and there used to be a sing-song there, the choir, beautiful. They were walking away and the singing away the whole lot. But Jimmy Cantlin was pulling over the coals, as I said. The bosses called him in.
Yeah.
Now, Jimmy was a boss over the Sash House, but then Sandy Lacey was higher than him and whatever. But it wasn't Sandy Lacey, it was somebody else. But he was called in anyway, and I was mixed up in the unit at the time, so I had to go up as well. And what's his name? Oh, Gordon Taylor came up as well the same way. And started off above at Jimmy Cantlin anyway. He was too nice. He was the boss now, right? Yeah. Over the girls, maybe 40 or 50 girls. He was too nice. You're too nice, and you're leaving girls off there, and you shouldn't be leaving them off at 4 o'clock and different things to get their hair done. But the thing is, to get their hair done they might be going to a wedding tomorrow morning, so they wouldn't have time. That time again, weddings would be early in the morning. That time it's just dinner time and after dinner. But he wouldn't. Jimmy used to leave them off to get their hair done. We had murder anyway, and because I was real sticky, like I wouldn't give an inch, whatever. But Jimmy, I always remember Jimmy. Listen to Jimmy Cantlin. I leave those girls off, he said, to get their hair done. He said, because they're going to a wedding tomorrow, whatever. But he says, if Paddy Kiely comes back here tomorrow night and he wants another £1,000 of sausages or £100 of sausages, and I asked those girls to work back, they'll work back for me because I left them off to get there. So your give and take was the message. He quietened. They were sitting behind the desk of the big nicers. They were quiet boys by the time we were finished, because they could see the other side of the coin, that Jimmy was right, and if Jimmy didn't leave them off, and tomorrow night he wanted an extra £1,000 of sausages, and they wouldn't work back. I mean, why would they work back when he wouldn't let them off to get their hair done? They could say, no, we're finished at 5.
Being fair about the whole thing.
It's fair, but you had some of these bosses up in there swimming in their chair around. It's still the same today, I say.
They were up with their pencils.
That's all, yeah.
What were they doing too?
They were up playing with their pencils.
That's all.
Find something to do. I'm not joking, just find something to do.
Sure, you'd hear that whole old thing now, like, you have it there in your hand now. The heaviest, I know. We had to more like sausages and boxes of sausages and bake the whole lot. What was the heaviest thing they had to lift? Their buyers. That was the heaviest. We had it at one time, and that's what we got. We got new shoes here. We went to some factory, and what would you call the toes? Hard toes.
Steel toe cap.
In case any would fall on top of them. And the joke was that all that could fall on top was a biro. That's the only thing the heaviest thing he ever lifted, Maria. And it's true, like the same with them. So there's all different stories, really, But this sort of, but back to, we'll say like the mattresses on the van drivers and all that, you have photographs there. They were amazing. Most of them are all, all lovely lads, really,
And what time did you start, Paddy?
In the morning?
Yeah, you started at 7, is it?
7 o'clock, but even earlier times, I'd be out have my van loaded, which said 7 o'clock, whatever. One of my first calls actually was Rocha Stores. They're gone now. They're gone now. And again, I'm kind of blowing my own top, which is not right, really. There was Dennis, Roscrea, Galty, the whole lot. I was the only one that was left in at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I could go down and take my stock, and I could bring down all my sausages, and the girl in her who was in charge there, before the shop would open, now this would be, they'd check me in, and I'd be walking away below. You were Denny's above in the yard. You wouldn't be left in until the butcher came in at 9 o'clock or whatever the whole lot.
Oh, that's really good.
There's been terrible jealousy that I used to be left in. They just trusted me. Simple.
Nice guy.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Nice fella.
But I used to be in the whole lot. But fantastic, different, and never fell out with any of them. All of them went down through the years. Well,
that's really nice though.
I had one row, all right. It was. In the end, but one row in my, I suppose, 40 or 50 years working, really. Did I tell you that one about your man in? And it's funny, just all of us there, like in the.
What is it? What happened?
But it's not. It's my own.
But she wanted.
That's it. That time, I was going to all the shops like down the hill, and the one thing I had was please and thank you. And I loved it. I loved to hear children say please and thank you, I've been in shops up in West End, and that's Ballycurra, West End, places like that. And you'd hear a bar of chocolate, please. You'd look around to know who said please. It was lovely. But I always had, I was always up really. But this shop in, do you want to be writing it down or whatever?
No, that's what
nobody cares. It's Super Value in Kilmallock, actually. And there was a lad there behind the counter, and I went in. I was always there, and I was pleased and thanked. If I got no order, thanks a million, and see you, and whatever, the whole lot. But I went in one day, and he wanted me to do, will you do a favour for me, Paddy? I will, of course, if I can, as I do it. Mark was his name. I will, of course, no problem, if I can do it, you know. We get the feeling that our back doorman is not checking the ends in properly. You know, in other words, he was just signed the docket and he wasn't checking properly the whole lot. And in other words, he wanted to get rid of him. Like, he wanted to just, I said, are you joking me? Oh yeah, he started off then that, he says, would you do me a favour? He says, would you bring in, when you're bringing your load tomorrow, I just said number 20 box of sausages. You'll have 20 on your docket, but will you leave it short one? Just bring in 19, he says. And then when you come in, I'll stop you. And I'll check, Paddy, you have 20 boxes down there, but you've only 19. And after he asked me to do, because he just wanted to get the back door. Marcus said, you use language now, like, are you mad? I said, or what? I come in, you stop me and check me. I said, next thing your boss upstairs, down then, Paddy's fiddling all the time. He's only bringing in 19 boxes for the last 12 months or whatever. I said, Joe, no way. I said, anyway, I said, I wouldn't do it. I said, against a workmate or whatever. He's a work friend. He's one of yours, as far as I'm concerned. But we were kind of cool after that then for a while, because I wouldn't do the dirty trick for him, simple as that really, you know. So maybe a few months afterwards, I was in one morning again, and I was been there 2 days a week actually. And we're all right today, he said to me like that. We're all right today, Paddy, because he was still a little bit sour because I wouldn't. That's fine, Mark. I said, sure, I'll be here Friday. Don't worry about it. I'll see you Friday, hold on. He left a roar again. What's all the effing, I'm not sure his language there, but he did use language to me. What's all the effing please and thank you for, he said like that, you know. No, normally that would run off me like water. He says, your parents must be proud of you. Both of my parents were dead, you know, and it was the same as stick a knife in my back. Jesus, I saw a red by. I flied him there. No, I didn't. What I said to him, whatever, the cheek of him, both of my parents are dead. They taught me how to say please and thank, and you're not going to stop me saying please and thank you, I said. So we had it up and down, and I went, no, Mark, I said, before I leave here, I'm going up to your boss, and I'm going to tell him exactly what's after happening, and I won't be coming in here anymore, I says, and there'll be no driver from Madison's coming in here, because I'm in the union. You think now that you get Paddy out and you'll bring in another driver tomorrow. There'll be no one going out of the whole lot. We had it hot and heavy anyway, sure. And I said, when I go back to my company, then I says, I'll be telling them the same story, what's after happening. And actually the manager at that time went back, and what you do about it, Paddy? I didn't do anything. But I said, I let him have it. I said, he wasn't going to insult. My parents were dead, and there's no one going to insult my parents for teaching me how to say please and thank you. And you didn't floor him. That was and you know, you couldn't, you'd be tempted, but who does a job then? Does Paddy hit you then, like, you know? But I always remember, that was the only, but of course the sense for me, like a few days afterwards, outside in the shop, the managers and whatever, the whole lot, and will you come back, Paddy, and blah, blah, and we'll make him apologise, the whole lot, you know. But I remember going back in, the hand was out to shake hands with me, and I wouldn't shake hands with him for a while. And that like got my say again. But that was the only argument. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, one in 50 years and doing
all
it.
the time you're working there.
I got on well with everybody. Right? But then that was part of my, you know, again I'm not trying to talk Jesus. I was kind of top salesman. But it was the bit of manners and the please and the thank you. And I figured in the most of it, you know. I used to be there in shops, and then we just say, I'd be talking to the buyer, you know, Joe Barry, who's dead now as well. All the buyers, I knew them all, sure. But I'd be talking to him, and next thing, Guinness driver would come in the door, you know, and the buyer, like Joe Barry, the manager behind the meat counter, he'd shout to one, we're all right, we don't need anything today. He wouldn't even let him come into the shop, like. You know, the difference, I could walk in, like, they'd want me to go up having tea, or... I'm not just saying it, it's just...
What's his personality, is it?
No, I'm not talking about... I always talk about, like, you know, I went through in just one argument is all I had. I could meet any of them tomorrow, and...
It'll be fine, it'll be totally forgotten.
Yeah, none of them would say anything. Little things, you could go on forever, right? Things that happened then as well. We were going to Galway one day, another day, and I was in a passenger this time. I wasn't really on sales. I started sales, like I told you, with Willie Kelly. There was the man who was on sales before me. Like sales was kind of collar and tie job.
Oh, okay.
You know, the trucks then was I could go in like this and drive trucks, and I could be sent down for a load of pigs to bring them in or different things like that. But we're going to Galway one day, and I wouldn't drive then because I'd senior driver. I always into the passenger seat. Again, just manners. Yeah. You were the senior driver, so I wasn't going to go in behind the wheel. I did love to go in behind the wheel, but I wouldn't like because. But the senior driver going up to Galway one, and the back wheel passed us. Off the truck, see going across the. I can still see it, like. But looking up, there was no one hurt or no one. The things that they did. I could tell. Poor Charlie McCormick. There was another. Charlie with going to Galway. I used to be with him as well in going to Galway, and 2 days a week, Tuesdays and Fridays, and black puddings. That time you couldn't eat meat on a Friday. You know, you wouldn't be allowed. Like you wouldn't remember it probably now. But if we at home now, my house, my man should cut the hand off you. Oh, Jesus! You had. The only day he used to eat black puddings was a Friday when he wasn't. He shouldn't have been eating them. Like Friday's a black fast day. Yeah. And that was the way he wouldn't eat a black pudding Tuesday or any other day going anywhere. But Friday, whatever the misfortune, the black pudding had to come out. Black pudding. But he used to go off drinking in above in Galway. He was the senior driver now. And of course let me off doing all the work. I was there. I used to deliver the whole thing all over Galway. Yeah. This now could be 11 o'clock in the morning by the time we get to Galway, or 12 maybe. And Charlie would go off with a bread man. He was friendly with a bread man. And breadman was probably finished at dinner time as well, you say.
He'd be out early.
He'd be out early. So for Charlie used to go off drinking with your man, and I'd do all the work around it. Just come back and I'd pick him up in the evening. Yeah. And he'd fairly asked if I'd drunk. we was calling to this house and going up with Colin to this house, going up, and she used to give us wheat or whatever you call it. And we'd have to leave it into a shop then in Ordenmore or somewhere, and come back in and pick it up. It would be flour. They had the machine to mince.
Oh yes.
So we used to come into this house, and she'd have tea and coffee first and everything. Like we'd come back, and Jerry, leave Paddy drive home now. Leave Paddy drive home. If you don't leave Paddy drive home, I'll be listening to the news in the morning. You know, she knew he was too drunk. Like no way. So we were an hour down the road, and. They're all stone walls up around Galway now, as you know. It's stone wall across the road. Pulled the door off of the van.
You're serious?
Oh yeah, and maybe I didn't tell you that one. Actually, a van like that now with the sliding side doors.
No.
Pulled it up. But then the funny part is, when after all that, then he lets me drive, and he falls asleep in the passenger seat. And the misfortune, you see, I was only a boy. He was a senior, so it was my place to give out to him. We came back in the following morning, and then of course you had the other drivers like John Kindy and all the lads. Paddy, what did you come home with him for? Why didn't you get a taxi home? So, but if I booked a taxi, let poor Charlie come back in his own. I was the worst in the world then. Charlie would probably sacked for drinking on the job in Galway. So you couldn't do that, like you had to put up with it. But I could have been killed with and he wouldn't. And the poor woman in Galway, I always remember her like, I'd be listening to the news in the morning if you don't let Paddy drive, going down the road. So I'd be listening to the news because you'd have a crash. And we were nearly killed the same night.
You pulled the door off the fence.
But and of course I loved it. I was a young fellow, you see, if you know what I mean. Yeah. And I loved driving around Galway and I'd do all the deliveries and all that. I didn't care where Charlie was. I was enjoying myself doing all the work, and Charlie was enjoying it because the work was being done for him. So all different.
And Paddy, what were the wages like?
Myself personally anyway, I was, she just got to get going back that far, but before I finished, like I was paying 60 pence to the pound tax. That would give an idea. That was the highest tax you could pay.
Okay.
Which is most of that was commission though, Paddy, wasn't it?
Commission,
The basic pay is different, like.
Basic pay, you get basic pay, and then if I in other words, if I sold £100 worth of stuff commission, which I used at big sales, I was getting 40. There was €60 taxed. 60 pence, 60 euros I would call it, isn't it? 60 euros. In other words, for every €100 I got over my basic pay, I only got 40
and 60 was the...
If I got back half, I always said, if I got back half, so that man is probably the same. If I got back half my tax, I'd be a millionaire. And I mean it now, and that's good. But you got into a stage in that you never looked at your wage packet. You know, it was just...
It was always the same, was it?
You knew it was always the same. You knew it, like, whatever, what tax. But I was on... Again, not blowing my top. I was on big money. I was on big money.
So you were comfortable?
We had a manager one day. He came down from Dublin, Tony McGuire. Did I tell you that one?
I remember him, guys, yeah.
Tony McGuire came down from Dublin, and of course brought in all the sales. All the lads were there and won the photographs. All the salesmen anyway, you know. And we need more sales, you know.
Well, we put it out to make the photo.
We need more sales and all this business, the whole lot, you know.
Yeah.
So he came up with this idea. We're only on 1% commission on sales. You know, you had your basic pay, we just say €100 or 200, and after that, then it was but 1%. We were on. They're all the lads now. He was the mechanic. There's the man over ring was.
Right. So the guy in the middle of the time.
That's his wife. Then that's myself there. Then.
Yeah.
And if I half the names I don't know, or Mick O'Donnell, I know it, I should know them, I forget them. It's gone back so long, like Jim Kerwin, Jim is only down the road there, Morris Quaid, that lad was the assistant to Larry, he was a mechanic as well.
Right.
Eamon Keane was in him, he saved the lad out in Corbally, maybe I told you that, he was drowned in one day.
God.
And he wasn't a great swimmer, but he always told the story, he went in anyway, and he saved the young lad, pulled him out, and his argument was not an argument. They were all around the Euphrates, and Jesus, there was I dying after going in and pulling him out, and no one around him, like, but it was all he never done any good after it. I think it kind of got to him or whatever, like, he saved the Euphrates. A lovely misfortunes with Eamon Keane. They were all a fine bunch of lads, the whole lot of them.
These were all in sales?
They were all in sales, yeah. Most of them were in sales, yeah. There's Jerry Higgins, you probably know Jerry. He's his own friend.
Where's Jerry?
It's Jerry there.
What is this? Jerry Higgins,
Jerry. Yeah.
It is,
yeah. Jerry Higgins, Bobby Brown, did you know Bobby Brown? Yeah, he's out in my Ballinanty, yeah. After retiring, sure, I was working for about 5 years after retiring, like, you know, we're all looking for me to
fill in. Yeah.
So they're just guys to hear some of them like, Paddy, I hadn't had in 10 years, 15 years, no one to relieve me. See the kind of job it was, you were responsible for product and everything, and you were responsible for money. And again, and that's blowing my top again, it isn't everyone I suppose you could trust.
Yeah.
You know, you were talking about big money like in the whole lot really, you know.
And did you just keep the money in the van?
In the van, and that was
even though you were driving around, no one...
No, in the van, not at all, no. I used to go up to, but as you said, the money in the van, sometimes you'd hide it in different places. When, well, just put a figure, say 1,000, when I have 1,000, maybe I'd I put the 1,000 today, I might put it under the mat in the van.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, it might be behind the seat somewhere, and then you need to be like, Jesus, where did I put it? And it could be gone, you know, but no touch wood wouldn't. I used to go up to Weston, there were 7 shops in Weston that time, and what's it, Jesus don't say it, you know, Michael Sheehan, poor Michael.
Yeah.
You never locked your van, Paddy. Oh, Michael, I never locked the van, I never any, no one. I go up to, Venman refused to go up there to Weston, there were 7 little shops there. I'd go up there, and the young lads would come around the back of the van. Will I bring it in for you, sir? Will I bring it in for you, sir? They just helped me, and they never, as far as I know, never took a pound of sausage out of the van.
Yeah.
Just because you played along with them or you were nice to them or whatever. Poor Michael then was locked the van. And I said to Jesus, Michael, you'll have the key to the van warm. Locking it so much, whatever. But he used to give out to me over not locking my van. Yeah, he's another vanman in the Maras.
Tell her about Dave Lynch's money.
Dave Lynch. Jesus. He's worse than me. I think I'd have to call in Mary for that one out of it. Dave, he's out in Bennog. A lovely man. Big heavy man, whatever the same way. And I used to do holiday work for him. When I retired, like I said, I was working for about 7 or 8 years after retirement, because they were all looking for me to Paddy would do 40 for us or a week for us, and a wedding or going on holidays, and we hadn't a holiday in 10 years. And I was delighted. I was getting paid, and I was happy. They were happy going away, and they went away kind of happy in holidays or whatever, because they could trust me, I suppose, or whatever. Don't ask me that. But I enjoyed the whole lot. But I used to go to Dave Lynch, and his wife. Oh, geez, she was a lady as well. She's dead. Dave is still alive. She's dead. Dave Lynch is, and I was going to say there. Oh, yeah, I was going then for the bringing on and stuff, like, he'd pay me. Now you could be talking a couple of €100 at him, or pounds or whatever. It was kind of big money. He had his own van, so he'd be going out down around Clare. Yeah. So I'd be supplying him maybe with 20 boxes of sausages and corned beef and hams and the whole lot. And Dave then would pay you, and you'd be inside, and he'd have to go out to get the money out to them where he used to keep the greyhounds, a little shed out in the back where he had greyhounds, and all his money outside there, and maybe under a bag or under a box. But I used to bring the money home then at night, you know, whatever. I know what it was, you say, but put out there. I'd bring the money home at night then, and you could call Mary and my wife in there now. And Dave Lynch paid you today anyway. She could smell the after the greyhounds after the money.
Oh my God.
That's just true, you know, it's stupid. But that's what the misfortune. He never had the money inside in the house.
No, always
outside in the little old house, and there could be 3 or 4 grounds there.
Minding
the money. He'd probably have it on the barrel. No, I never, very seldom now I get into that little house where the grounds were. But I'd be inside, he'd go off.
So the greyhound would know him.
The greyhounds don't mind the money.
But that was his banky for light then. Oh, Jesus God, he was down then when he went on holidays then when I had to learn his run, like, and there was a few shops then, and the pubs near them. He was fond of his drink or whatever. And after me, if anything, no Paddy, I won't be long, because I used to drink at all, so I was never invited into the pub or whatever. Just every now and again, then he'd come out and you'd know 100 miles an hour down the road driving, then, because he had his few drinks. But a lovely, you know.
That's a nice man.
And he has a son. He has 2 sons. Anyway, one son is he might be. He's probably gone. He was a special branch or something. Yeah. He was something. He was high up in the guards, and you would meet him the same way, like, you know. But the same man was nearly killed then. Come out of was it the race? Cause the Greyhound track. The Greyhound track or some of them anyway. A van, an ice cream van or a chipper van or something, you know, after the races coming out. Yeah. Rolled completely over him, minced him up under the van. Oh, he was out in Croom and I was doing his holiday work that time for as well then. He was in Croom for ages. It was a miracle that he came out of it. He's still around today.
How old is he?
Sorry?
How old is he? Is this Dave you're on about?
Dave Lynch, yeah.
Dave Lynch, yeah. Dave Lynch.
How do you put him?
He'd be older than me. He would be older than me. What age am I now?
We were talking about that before we came in.
We were in bed.
That had about you, about a girl.
That was another person we were chatting about.
And then we said, how would you put it in? She's somebody better ages. And she says, somebody better. And next thing goes in there,
I'm 1939 I was born. I'm 76.
Okay.
I'll be 77.
Dave must be in his 80s.
Next, whatever. Oh, he's in Moritz. His wife is, oh God, a lady, you know, when I
know, yeah, it's a very nice person.
She just give you the key of the outhouse, like, and you put in your 10 boxes of sausages. Yeah. Just trusted you, you know.
Dave's wife.
They don't trust you, like, I mean, I used to put in the sausages and corned beef and put in everything, and she'd just come out and knock the door. She wouldn't come in and count the 10 boxes of sausages or 10. But they all, you know, I suppose, touch wood, like, I never did anything wrong, but they all trusted you, which was a big part of my sales, I think, as well.
Which is strange like that now. You know Bill Ryan below, didn't you?
Bill, oh yeah.
Below was Singling Cross. Bill used to get sausages and stuff off of the bus, you know. Yeah. And Bill said, "You'll drop them out to me, because he'd be late on a Friday." And I really said, "Bill, I put your bill into the toilet."
Oh, stop! Oh my God!
And the toilet, yeah.
In the bag, like.
Bring the boxes of sausages
or whatever, yeah.
Into the toilet.
There, isn't it? The difference of,
hygiene is
But Tom Riney, you know, sure, Tom was going to as well.
Tom is terrible actually.
Tom up and pulled up there, and people said, Paddy, that people would think that you were on a fiddle or something. Could be 11 o'clock at night when Tom would come up here. He was a lad now, his own van as well.
Okay.
And he's selling stuff down the country. He's still out in Palace Green.
Yeah.
And coming back then, he'd ring me, Paddy, will you get me 5 boxes of sausage or 6 boxes of sausage? So I wouldn't have the van then, like at night time, so I had to put it to my boat of the car outside in the factory, like. They'd be inside the boat of the car. But it could be 11 o'clock then when day would come. And if you were a neighbour across there said, geez, Paddy Kiely's on a good fiddle anyway.
Yep.
There's vans calling at 11 o'clock at night for sausage. But you know, little did I know that he was coming back off his run at that. He used to be out all night.
Tom was dealing with us below. And Tom would come along, he'd phone in the order. His wife Margaret would ring in the order.
Yeah, the lady as well.
We'd have everything ready for Tom. And he'd come down. And you'd load Tom, you hadn't loaded in 10 minutes, like, you were all in straight away. Hams and sausages and puddings and brown. And he came in anyway, this could be 1 o'clock in the day, like, and he'd be going out down the wrong place to sell. I told Paddy, I was below in Kilkee, and I met him below the 11, and he was still going in and out the shops.
No bother.
Still going in and out the shop. But he came in one day to us below, and he says, Lads, I'm changing my routine. Hey, you Tom. Great. What are you going to do, Tom? I'm going out early in the morning. Great, Tom. What time are you going out? I'll be here at 10 o'clock in the morning, I says. No later. Grand. So we had stuff ready for him, everything ready. That was on the Monday morning. And by the time he came to Friday, he was back to 1 o'clock again.
1 o'clock. That was
just can't get up in the morning and says, you're meant to fucking in bed early, you know. Says, down there, scrolling classes at 12 o'clock and 1 o'clock in the morning.
But you know who I feel sorry for? His wife. The winter nights, ice and frost and everything, in the winter nights. And his wife was at home 11, 12 o'clock. He not home yet, like. Yeah. You know,
to be thinking of it.
Thinking of it. She had a whole worry, but like, and sure Tom was enjoying it, like. There was a few shops now where I met afterwards, and he'd have to knock them up 11 o'clock at night, like, and come into the shop, like, and they'd have to get a woman. It was a lady now down that smart part now, and get out of bed to come down to take in the few bits and pieces or whatever, though, and but no bother to him, like. Yeah. Whereas they wouldn't buy off you at 11 o'clock at night.
That's right. But Tom was a gentleman as well.
Oh, he was, yeah. He was. They're quite like in the same. They were all characters more than in their own way. Like, you had well, we could talk about.
But the shinny I used to enjoy.
He was. What was the bread soda?
What was his biggest bread soda? He
was a gas man. He was. And rubber boots to that one. And could you know, like I said a while ago, I could go into work in Madison's when I was starting first, like, because I could be driving the trucks or doing all different jobs, doing dirty jobs or whatever. But then when you were on sales, you had to be a little bit respectable, a clean shirt or a clean whatever, with shinny rubber boots. Rubber Weltons, the farmers would wear out.
Oh really? Those kind of boots, okay.
Yeah, but you're chasing
He couldn't care less.
Who'd buy off of him? Like, he didn't look the part even with we couldn't care less. They were characters really, the whole lot, you know. I'm Tommy, you know, all that stupid dog. But that was it really. But the fact is, when Tommy Wallace, the butchers, my best memory of Tommy Wallace, he was his dad, himself and his dad worked there. His dad was in the smoke. That what you call it? You'll know more about this. The smoke out, smoking the hams and and he was had to light the fire or whatever.
It was. Did Norman taught you about smoking bacon? Did it? Did you tell me about smoking bacon? I'm cutting the class, Paddy.
No, because I wouldn't. That's the other individual.
When we used to below the Maris, what they had was an old house.
That's
a class in the yard. The yard, the class from Maris. College yard, we just call it. An old house, and the floorboards taken out.
Okay.
So you'll go up in the rafters, up on the second rafters.
Yeah.
And you'll hang, especially Christmas time now, you'll be hanging the gammons out of the actual roof. And you'll fill that, then you'll come down, fill the next row of rafters. And it has, you had a thing that you shove it through, put in a string, pull it through, and hang it on that. And all the rafters above, there was nails in all the rafters, a certain distance apart. You would hang and hang and hang. We'll probably go 400 hams inside, at least.
What? This is in the building across from Amara's.
There's shops there now, actually.
Is there?
And Amara's factory said was
I'll let you draw it out there.
Amara's factory. Right. That was the lint pit.
Yeah.
There's Roger Street.
Yeah. And this is
Thomas Street.
Yeah.
And this is Ann Street.
Yeah.
Now the gate into Amara's for us that going into work was about here.
Right.
Right. Now, and across the road then there was houses along here, and then there was a road down there, O'Toole's. You know, O'Toole's paper.
That's right, yeah.
Well, on the other side of that then there was a yard there, and that was belonging to Amara's as well. Just put the trucks in there at night, the pig lorries at night. But there was a house here then, you go in, there's a gate here. You come out that gate, there's a gate here. Come out that gate and bring the bacon across the road.
Right, okay.
There's a house there then at this side. And that house, you smoked the bacon in that house. And you, as I said, you put down, when you had the bacon, when you had the hams upstairs, the bacon up, there were 2 grissets. It was, you'd make the fire.
Okay.
Right? And you put the sourdoughs in, because the bacon would have to be heated for the smoke to stick.
Okay.
You see?
Yeah.
So you'd heat the bacon, then you'd put in your a straw bed on the floor, obviously. Then you put sawdust on top of that.
Yeah.
And then you go over to your toes and get a few bits of paper off your toes, so there's loads of paper. Stick the paper in. You go in and you light the paper at the back. 2 men, you light it at the back. 1 down that side, 1 down that side, and there, and out the door.
And how big would the fire be, Joe?
The 2. I tell you what it was made now. It was round, just and this line. This is the base of it, right?
Yeah.
And you have 4 legs in it. And then you bring it up like this, across, and there'll be bars down like that again.
Okay.
Onto the base. You'd light your fire inside in that.
Yeah.
And what they used was coke. Coke was coal with the gas drawn out of it.
Okay.
Where the gas was down the darks at the time.
Right. Okay.
And you'd get the fire lighting, and then you would fill it up with coke, and that would turn red.
Yeah.
And you put 2 those in, that would heat the house. And the bacon then will get a bit warm after that.
Yeah.
I mean, that was done, that has been there for a good number of hours.
Yeah.
Pull that out then, you'd have your bed ready.
Yeah.
The sawdust bed's ready. You just light the papers then. And out the door, lock the door, smoke away.
The smoke. And how long would it be
Come in the following morning, then to be all smoked.
Okay, oh my god.
They've been smoking all night and...
Smoking all night.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you go over then, and you'd have to go up on the rafters again to get them back down.
Yep.
I mean, it's health and safety, man.
Oh, jeez, get it.
And just do it, and the rafters will be that with the parcel.
Yeah.
1 leg in one leg in the other. And that's the time to go to block and tattle. They'll have the block and tattle. To bring up the stuff, you'll take it off and hang it. Block and tattle.
Take it off, yeah.
I'll show you what it says. The way you'd have it hanging, and you'd have a chain on it.
Yeah.
You remember them, Paddy? The chain on.
I could tell a story about those.
Yeah. And you just hang. You hang it onto the chain, and you pull it to come up the other side. And they're coming up, and as you're taking them off, so you come back down empty.
Yeah.
And we keep filling
hanging it up and
down,
keep pulling it. Okay, I get you now.
Okay.
We do those highs, as you call them, isn't it? Whatever, for putting up the bacon, like.
Yeah.
We said butchers during the day, that's what matters now.
Yeah.
They'd have it all piled up inside. There were...
You have a photograph for that.
2 bags, it was 2 pigs nearly in each...
4 sides of bacon.
4 sides of bacon. 2 fair weight now, like.
Yeah.
But they'd be piled up against the wall. And at night then, we'd say you couldn't touch that until the butcher were finished at 6 o'clock or whatever time. And then we'd back our truck in. So back the truck in. We'll just say this is the place.
Yeah.
You back the truck in here, and all the bacon was piled up here. And there was a hoist in, like he says, that you just put the hook onto it, press a button, up it went, press it, and it went in across the truck. But the point I'm coming to is, I could be up in that truck at 4 o'clock. Or whatever, and made to lower the truck. I wouldn't be allowed to lower it
Until the butcher said.
that was a butcher's job, to press the buttons and to hoist it up. And all I had to do then was fix it above in the truck like my own way. But I'd be up in the truck and I wouldn't be allowed to press those buttons because I wasn't the butcher.
Okay.
I was transferred.
That's on now. Sean Curtin. One of Sean Curtin's pictures
Yeah, but I'd heard of it.
is
We have a little.
said
He has that as
the hoist. I mean, you had one to press a button.
Yeah.
We had one.
No, yeah, the ones in Madison was press a button, is differently.
Yeah. Sean Curtin had it there now. Had a
Come
picture
across
of
the
that.
truck then, and then we'd pile all the bacon up the front of the truck, and then I had to pull the truck out a bit to get the next row.
The next batch, yeah.
And up into CIE, we're talking about fridges and all that, into a CIE wagon then.
That's right, yeah.
And again, we couldn't touch it. All we could do was take the bacon from the back of the truck, back to the back of our truck, like, and the CI lads had to bring it into the wagon. We wouldn't be allowed. That was CI work.
You didn't miss anything, I can tell you.
No, jeez, the weight of it.
This is we went up there one day. There was 2 wagon loads of bacon, right?
The weight was unreal, right?
And when we went up, the order was cancelled, and we had to go up and take it back out.
Oh,
the CIA workers wouldn't take it out, so we had to go up and take it out. Boy, Jesus, it's not a job.
Heavy, a lot of.
With 4 sides of bacon, the side of bacon would weigh roughly around 60 pounds, wouldn't it?
Oh, jeez,
There or thereabouts.
Oh, there's two full. You can imagine the full side of a pig, like 2 pigs was a 4 size.
Yeah, 4 sides.
The weight it was unreal. You just got to.
And we used to load that now, and the lorries below was we had a Danny boy, is that what they called it?
Yeah, for
to put it on the back of it and just to bring it up.
Bring it up to it.
And your shoulders.
Rise above.
3 men.
That's right.
3 men on your shoulders, and you'd load it and up and down the 40 foot, the 40 foot truck, and you'd load that from the floor to the roof.
I always remember his name and anything, but he was one of the CIE workers, like a rugby player now. You know, Bull Hayes would say.
Yeah.
And no bother to open his shoulder, and we had to lift him back to the back of the truck, you know, because we had to bring them all back, and they'd take, but we couldn't. It was like loading, and we weren't allowed to load them. The butcher had to, and we'd be away on Jesus God trying to get it loaded to get up to the station, get it into the wagon, finish and get home. Like, but no, we could not touch that house. A butcher had to do that, and all he was doing was pressing buttons.
We used to do it now. We used to throw it on pallets at all. Just go straight onto the truck.
Onto the truck, no.
Just straight on, and that was it.
This was on pallets, and I can still see it in a row right along here, a whole lot, and then we'd back the truck in alongside it.
Yeah, but the truck wasn't there when they were bailing, was it?
Yeah, that can happen too, you see. The truck is out in the road, it could be in Galway or whatever.
Could be any place, and the bacon bailed.
And it was an ass job at night, like really, when the butcher was finished, like, you know, whatever was there then was all. But the point is, again, is no hygiene, no fridges. They went to the CI wagons. It went up, I don't know where, to Dunleary or somewhere.
I meant to cross. That was export bacon, yeah.
No.
Went to cross to England.
Oh my God.
No, like Jesus God, you couldn't put a pound of sausage into a van without having
No, yeah.
the butchers and the freezers and the whole different times. But again, there was no one sick. Like you'd never heard of rotten bacon or sour bacon or whatever, you know. Different times.
If the bacon was sour, you washed it and salted it and went into half
I knew a fella that oh God, what's the name's called now? The name of it isn't Denny's now or whatever, or a Dublin company. His name was Donnelly's. That's what it was now. And there was a river, lovely young flag, you know, but the white puddings, as you know, if they were the sort of time they can go sticky. Perfect now, but they go kind of, you know, sticky.
I know what you're going to say.
A river, pulling the van, a stream going under the road or whatever, his box of puddings down, wash them all below in the street. But perfect, like, and all it was kind of slime, you know. They'd be sticky, like you wash them and back into his van again, then they sold them into the next shop. But there was nothing wrong with them. Yeah. But it was just the way he used to do it was he couldn't sell them the way they were.
Why were they sticky?
They'd be sticky. They do get sticky.
Did they?
There was a natural casing, you see.
Yeah.
Do you know, now it's all synthetic stuff, you see. It wouldn't happen. But with the natural casing, it would happen. Yeah. Sure, often we have a olive oil. Olive oil, yeah. You'll be wiping the black puddings especially. It's a bit shining. Can you see your face now? I'm not joking, you know. Polish them all up. It's off to the wall. Oh, Jesus, that's the greatest. Because the actual pudding inside would be perfect.
Yeah.
It's just the skin
would
get kind of sticky.
Yeah. Okay. Most of the white ones, wasn't it?
The white were worse than the black,
but he was good.
What we used to keep the white puddings in water.
Yes, keep them fresh as well.
More perfect.
Yeah.
If you had them, say, in trays, if you were there for a few days, they would go sticky. If you put them in the water inside in the fridge,
and
perfect.
Again.
Do you want another cup of coffee, love?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Thank you.
No, I'm good, thank you. Thanks so much.
She's watching telly or whatever the
heartbeat.
So that's that time then as well. Big families, our own family now. There was about 10 of us worked in Madison's.
Yeah.
You know, between there was
in sales, is it?
And sales, yeah. Nearly transporters, what you'd call it, really. We weren't butchers. We were in the transporter, you know. They used to go, Eddie McCormick now and William, one of my brothers, up to Dublin, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my God.
With a load of, full truckload of stuff now. But simply they had to go at 3 o'clock in the morning. There was 3 or 4 vans in Dublin and they'd be starting at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
So you had to be in Dublin for 7 o'clock for them to take the load, and they were going after and selling all over the, But the hours were unreal, like. Poor old Eddie McHis did now as well, poor old Eddie McCormick, he was fond of the drink. And I used to remember now, if you met you downtown, my daughter now, they're all married now, or Caroline is married, but if you met Mary downtown now, like with Caroline, and you'd meet Eddie, he'd have to bring Caroline into the shop and buy $1 or something, he just wouldn't, he had to buy $1 for Paddy's daughter, and this kind of different people. Sean Kearns, he used to go into the shops around, like, and Mary might meet him as well then, and she might have some of the, that's going back now when they were young, and he'd have to go to the counter and get a bar of chocolate and give it to the lovely touches, is what I'm trying to say, like, you know, genuine, poor old Sean is gone now as well, genuine people, like,
people were very
friendly and nice and trusted each other, and, you know, the whole lot, you know. They did
a difference now.
Oh yeah, it's sad really, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is sad, you know. Sure, I mean, we're gone away from the business. Back in our times, sure, you could leave your front door open, like.
Yeah.
You can't do it today, love. You have to make sure they're all locked, and no matter whether you're out in the country or in the city or where you are now.
Yeah.
And you'd stop at times and say to yourself, geez, what year did it go wrong, or how did it go wrong? I mean, you know, we were nearly afraid of neighbours, because if they complained us, that's we were young now. If they complained us to my father, like, no, my father there was a gang, there was 12 of us in the family, and my father never, and I can honestly stand here and say he never hit one of us, but all he had to do was lift his voice.
And you got afraid.
And I wouldn't tell you, you'd go into a mouse. You know, but I never see my dad hitting any of my brothers, or no, maybe we were all good boys, I don't know. But no, and never.
Boys weren't good at it.
No, I never. But all I had to do was to lift his voice, like, and then, you know, your mother told me that you did such a thing, or a neighbour told me, but geez, you wouldn't do it again, like, or whatever. Terrified there, you know, not terrified, but it was lovely, the fact that I never seen, you never seen hitting anybody or wherever, you know. All different times, really, you know.
And Paddy, why do you think the Madison's closed down, or that the bacon industry declined?
I often think of that, really. There was 4 baking factories, we said, in Limerick, and you know, why did they all close? Why do we, you know, I can blame myself now if you like, I can blame that man there. Why did we stand back and leave them closed, you know? There was, and just again, I would say 100 jobs in Mattresses, 100 in the Maras, 100 in Clone, just saying hundreds. We stood back. Maybe I was too young at the time. I was, you know, I wasn't in my latter days, like I was in the unions and meetings and the whole lot. Like, I'd imagine I wouldn't have stood for it. No, I'm not saying I would. But we stood back and left, you know. Who was first to go? Was Mattresses first or Clover Maze? Mattresses closed.
Mattresses stopped killing in 1967. Would just they kept doing the sausages and
then of course they had the cannery as well. Then peas and beans.
Yeah.
But then the
O'Mara's.
O'Mara's was the last one to close. Denny's was the first.
Denny's, okay.
Yes, Denny's were first.
And Matheson stopped killing. But as I said, they carried on with their sausages and brawn and stuff. Clover Mees closed in the 80s. Clover Mees, no,